India's $130 billion sports market is booming, but women athletes say they are still fighting for their fair share. According to the Times, dozens of female athletes gathered in Mumbai this week at the Sports Women Huddle, where stars like Sania Mirza and PV Sindhu joined industry leaders to strategize on building visibility and sponsorships. One theme stood out: social media is becoming a lifeline. Influencer Anchal Agrawal told the crowd, "Get the coin, girl," urging athletes to build online followings for financial independence, since careers can be short. Cricket remains the country's most lucrative sport, with the India Premier League valued at more than $10 billion. But the new Women's Premier League, backed by $500 million in franchise sales, is already drawing large crowds and creating opportunities for girls across India. As one executive put it, the potential is there. What holds us back isn't talent, it's the barriers that start early. Okay, so what's the real message here? This is a golden opportunity. If you are a woman and an athlete in India or any place else in the world, doors are opening. Is it equal to what men are getting? No, but there's a lot of riches there if you are aggressively marketing yourself in social media. There's influencer deals, ad deals, sponsorships. There are ways of monetizing the fact that a lot of eyeballs are on you. So don't blow it. Okay, let's dig a little deeper here. Why do I get so excited about this? Because I'm old enough to remember my own sisters, who were only a couple of years older, didn't even have the ability to do sports in elementary school, junior high school. It just wasn't a thing, even in the United States, which likes to think of itself as so advanced in women's rights and equality. And now we're seeing in other countries on the other side of the world, and we're so happy to have so many Indian viewers and members of this community. We're seeing in places like India where not equality yet, but it's a lot closer, where women athletes are getting the attention they justly deserve. Here in the United States, the women's college basketball, women's professional basketball is finally getting a lot of attention. Are their stars getting the equal pay of LeBron James and what Michael Jordan got? No, they're making a lot more money than they used to. I'm seeing it just in my local pickleball courts here in South Florida, where there are a number of professional pickleball players. And some of them are telling me about, they're getting a salary from the Professional Pickleball Association. They get prize winnings. They get sponsorships for their social media, and they're getting brand deals with rackets and things. You put it all together, and they're making very nice six-figure salaries. I don't know what everyone is making in India, the top players, but certainly it's a huge, huge market, obviously. Largest English-speaking market in the world, largest democracy in the world. And if you're in a sport that people want to watch, you deserve to get some of that money. It's long been a contention of mine that what happens in the United States with college sports is an atrocity. You've got college coaches making sometimes $10, $12, $15 million a year. And you have star athletes, the ones everyone actually watches and are tuning into the shows to watch, who have millions and millions and millions of people watching them, but they're not quite good enough to make it to the pros, and they get nothing in the past. Or they were primed for a great professional career, and the last game of their college career, when they're a so-called amateur, they get an injury, and then they are working on the back of a truck the rest of their life, living on welfare. It's not fair. So that has been corrected in the United States. Not to everyone's liking, but college athletes now have the ability to monetize their likeness, their image, their social media accounts. I'm very happy to see this spreading throughout the world to not just men, but women as well. And this sign in India, I think is fascinating. Let's give a few more stats here. The Indian sports market is set to hit $130 billion by 2030. Sports fandom, 655 million fans nationwide in India. Women still earn less than men despite rising viewership. And the key is the sponsorship and how it gives them independence. Recently, the Women's Premier League franchises sold for $500,000. The highest paid female cricketer made $415,000 in 2023, which is, by the standards of professional athletes here in the United States, some of them with $250 million multi-year contracts, it sounds like pocket change. but compared to the average income in India, that is the superstar wealth. Certainly not just the top 1%, but the top 0.1%. Sanya Mirza says women face double standards in branding. I think that's true across the world. And the good thing is barriers are following. Yes, there are still barriers. Now, I say this as someone who had, I won't say zero, but I had close to zero athletic talent as a kid. I was a kid who matured early, and I was about the size I am now when I was 12 years old. So because I was, and I'm 5'11 and a half. So the fact that I was basically a foot taller than everyone else through most of my childhood and into high school made it easier for me to be better than average in most of my assessments. But by the standards of being a professional athlete or a college athlete, or even being able to get on a high school team where there's 2,000 kids, I did not have the talent. So I don't talk about any of this from the perspective that I was some great athlete and was able to monetize it. But there's absolutely no doubt that this is a golden age for athletes around the world. And why is that? It's because human beings love sport. They love watching it. We live in an attention economy. That's been said over and over again, not original to me, but where attention flows, money flows. So if you are a 23-year-old or a 20-year-old, or for that matter, a 14-year-old, and you're good at a particular sport and people want to watch you, this is great. You got to change the attitude of this is my way to get a free college tuition and really think about maybe this is my time to establish financial security for the rest of my life if handled properly. Now, let's point out a troubling statistic. I've seen statistics from 2/3 to certainly more than a half of professional football players being bankrupt within 5 years of retirement. So you can make almost any amount of money. You can be Mike Tyson and make $500 million and still file bankruptcy. How much money you make and how much you keep and your long-term net wealth are not necessarily correlated. But all things being equal, I would sure love to be a young person who has somehow figured out a way to bankroll, if not 10 million, not a million, even the first 100,000. If you could somehow get 100,000 because of some claim to fame in the sports world through social media, through influencer deals, and just put it in an index fund and don't think about it or touch it till you're 65 years old, you would be a multimillionaire so many times over, it would make your head spin. You would have extraordinary wealth. You'd have generational wealth if you just put $100,000 in a broad-based, low-cost index fund and don't touch it. And there are a lot of people who do have the ability to do this. The problem, of course, is human nature, where we got the money, let's spend it. It's fun to spend money. It's not fun to save money. It's very hard to go to a cocktail party when other people are saying, hey, look at this new Maserati I bought. Look at this new Ferrari. Look at this new Gucci bag. And you're saying, oh, look at my bank balance. You can't really do that. It would be too weird. But that is what can create long-term wealth for you. So here's the real message I have and why I wanted to talk to you about this. We can't all be star athletes. I certainly wasn't. But we do live in a world now where you can become the best at something. And being the best at something can attract eyeballs. And when you attract a lot of eyeballs, you can attract wealth. And maybe it doesn't last that long. Maybe you don't have a very good batting average. I put myself out there. Is some people say, oh, TJ, that's fantastic. You have 24 internationally best-selling online courses. You have 12 million student enrollments. That must be great. Congratulations. Thank you. But everyone forgets the fact that, yeah, out of my 24 best-selling courses, I have 200 courses that have performed miserably, that were basically failures. I've succeeded because of simply taking more at-bats. And I hope that metaphor works in cricket as well for our Indian friends watching this. So whatever it is you do, whether you are playing cricket, whether you're playing soccer, whatever it is you're doing, remember, in the world of business, the world of finance, it only takes one win to overcome every other loss, every other failure, as long as you don't take all the winnings from that one win and gamble it away or fritter it away. It only takes one victory. And if you simply don't spend it and you invest it in something that's relatively low risk, that has compounding effects, you can be set financially for life. Now, I didn't really have any real success until my 40s and arguably even early 50s before I had a lot of financial success because of my creations. But there simply was nothing like social media when I was a kid and when I was in college. There wasn't the ability. You had to go through all these gatekeepers, and I had to fight and claw my way in to work for free at a radio station in Miami that was 1,000 watts and had maybe 2 listeners. I had to beg to do the overnight shift, midnight to 3 a.m. 35 years ago, just to get experience. Forget trying to make any money. I was hoping to just not lose money by having to buy time to get on the air. Thankfully, those days are over. Everyone has their own TV studio available to them. It's right here on every social media platform. Everyone has their own international radio broadcasting network available to them. It's called right here, your ability to create a podcast. So whether you're a professional athlete or not, or a college athlete or not, hop on it. It's opportunity, and realize it might not last. I may make another 250 online courses and maybe none of them sell. My magic didn't last. Guess what? It won't matter because I've saved enough, and that's invested, and I'm getting compounding on a daily basis, really. And that's what I want for you. I want you to have economic security. I want these women who have worked so hard to become the tops of their field. In this case, cricket in India. I want them to make money, good money, and I want them to achieve financial wealth, but I want it for you too. So even if you don't have great sporting talent, certainly I don't, realize doesn't mean you can't have one big win invested properly, and then you can be a lot more selective in how you spend your professional creative time.